Hey, this is Nolan Lure, and I've been playing World of Warcraft since it came out in November of 2004. And now that Cataclysms came out, there's been a lot of changes with the mining pass and everything like that. And a lot of the zones have changed, so what I did is laid everything out into the best, areas to mine while being at, the level to do that properly. So today what I'm going to talk about is the complete Horde mining guide to actually get you to 525 as fast as possible using the best mining pass. So we'll pick a race and we'll go ahead and get started, and we're going to start with mining copper to go from 1 to 65. So if you pick the Tarn race, here's Mogur's best path. And all you have to do is go ahead and pause the video, and you can refer back to this as you need to, depending on where you're at on your mining. So next up we have Undead, which will be the Tearsfall Fallglades, or Tearsfall Fallglades, sorry. And then some of these are going to have a red zone, which will be a hotspot. It means there's going to be a lot of actually good nodes to hit up there. So here's the Blood Elves with Eversong Woods. Orc Intro at Duratar, and then here's one of those hotspots I was talking about over there by that cave in the top part of the picture. And now we got the new race, the Goblins, which is Ashera. Now here's a really good size hotspot, you can see that one. So now that you've hit 65, it's time to move on to 10 in silver, which will level you through 66 to 125. So Kalimdor, you're going to find Ashenvale, which will have the 10 in silver. And if you're not in Kalimdor, you can move over to Eastern Kingdoms and Hillsbrad Foothills. And this one's got a huge red spot, as you can see. So now hopefully you've hit 125, and it's time to move on to Iron and Gold, which will level you through 126 to 175. So back to Kalimdor for Alas, depending on where you're located. This might be the easiest spot for you to get to. Another place, Eastern Kingdoms, Western Plaguelands. So don't worry, what they did is they lowered everything down level wise. I can't remember, I think around level 30 to 40 you'd be okay to go here. It's not the usual level 60. It used to be, 53? So here's Eastern Kingdoms again with the Cape of Stranglethorn. Now that you've hit 175, hopefully it's time to move on to Mithril and True Silver for you, which will level you through 176 to 230. So Kalimdor, you will find Felwood. Eastern Kingdoms will have Badlands, which will have a hot spot. Eastern Kingdoms again, which will find Burning Steppes, big hot spot. Now that you've hit 230, it's time to move on to Thorium, which will level you through 231 to 275. So Kalimdor, you will have Winter Spring. Kalimdor again, which will be Silithus. Eastern Kingdoms, you'll find Blasted Lands. So now that you've hit 275, it's time to move on to Fel Iron, which will level you through 276 to 325. Hopefully you will be at level 58, so you can go and move on to the Outlands by taking the Blasted Portal, which will therefore take you out to Hellfire Peninsula. So as here, you can see I got two different setups. One's the best, get a flying mount. The other black ones are going to be your ground mount. So if you don't have the gold for the flying mount, don't stress out. Just go ahead and get your ground mount. Stick with the ground mount path. So now you've hit 325, it's time to move on to Adamantite, which will level you through 326 to 350. So in Outlands again, you have Nogrin. On this one, yes, you can see all the hotspots for the Adamantite will actually be in the caves. So if you hit the caves up, you should easily level. So now that you've hit 350, it's time to move on to Cobalt, which will level you through 351 to 375. Which hopefully now you're at level 68, so you can go ahead and move out to Northern, Howling Fjord. Here, if you don't have the Northern Flying, don't worry about it. You can go ahead and still use the ground pass. A little bit more work because it's a lot more spread out, but I'd still follow the blue trail a little bit. Alright, now that you've hit 375, it's time to move on to Rich Cobalt, which will level you through 376 to 400. Now you're going to see Northern again, which will be Zodrak. It's going to have your Rich Cobalt. Flying mount and the ground mount path. Now that you've hit 400, it's time to move on to Rich Serenite, which will level you through 401 to 425. So here's Shalazar Basin, as you can see, which is still in Northern. Now, right here, you can, now you've hit 425, you can either have a choice to either go and keep moving around finding Rich Serenite, and a good place to do that too, let me scroll right back, is to go to over here Wintergrass. It's down in the right hand corner. And you can stay there and go to 450, but if it was me, since Cataclysm came out, you can go ahead and move on to Obsidian, which will level you through 426 to 475. So the first place we're going to go is Kalimdor, which is Mount Hyjal. The reason I like Mount Hyjal, it's still a ground mount area instead of going to Maelstrom, which is mainly water, so therefore go to Mount Hyjal to level a lot more easy. So now that you've hit 475, it's time to move on to Elementium, which will level you through 476 to 525. So now we're going to Maelstrom, which you will find the deep home. As you can see, there's a hotspot. And my name is Nolan Lure. Hope you enjoyed this video of the mining guide, and also if you want to join my subscription to my subscribers list of videos, go ahead and do so. I'll have a lot more videos coming out, and I hope you have some great luck with your World of Warcraft, and good luck to you.